What's up, guys? Back in the shop. Gonna get some more work done on the camper here, and a lot of you guys seem to be enjoying all the hate this thing is getting online, and I love it. Hope the idiots keep it going. But hey, check out what my new friend Joe has to say about it, and then we'll get to work. Okay, so I'm going to get to work on this chassis today a little bit. Buddy had this left over from a 54 Chevy project he had. Decided not to use this frame. So I picked it up, did some measuring. I think width and wheelbase, it's going to work out pretty good for this project. It is based off an S10, so it uses S10 control arms and spindles, steering, all that stuff. So I've been gathering parts, and goal for the day, I just want to get front suspension hung on it temporarily, enough I can get wheels bolted up. We'll get engine, transmission just sitting in the floor, kind of where it's going to go, enough that we can set the cab over top of everything. And we're going to have to cut out some of the training tunnel, drive shaft tunnel, I imagine. So I just want to get everything in place, mocked up, see what all needs cut out of there, get that done. This is a stock floor body drop frame. Hey, if you don't know what that is, basically traditional body drop, you would cut all around the edge of the floor and let the body drop down even with the frame, weld it all back up, and you'd have step, 3-4 inches, 2 inches, whatever the amount of body drop you need. You'd have a step there, and you lose obviously a lot of headroom and foot room around the pedals. So the idea of a stock floor body drop, this is a 2x3 frame, and for the most part it'll fit underneath the factory floor pan. But typically you do have to maybe modify around the body mounts, firewall, and training tunnel a little bit. So like I said, just want to get all that in place, mocked up, see what needs cut, and if we have any extra time after that, I'll get everything up in the air and we'll start making some body mounts. So I'm going to get started by cutting off these old bag mounts. We'll be redoing all that, and then we'll get this suspension hung on. So give you a look at a very rough mock-up of the chassis. So there's what we got. next step, get that engine between the frame. Okay, so close guesstimate of where that engine's going to sit. It's close enough that we can get this cab over top of it. Then I'm going to hang some fenders on it just so I can kind of center the wheel and the wheel well, make sure the cab's sitting in the neighborhood of where it needs to be, and then start marking anything on the firewall and training tunnel that needs cut out of there, and get that cut and get this thing laying on the ground. Okay guys, so give you a quick look at what I got going on before I go any farther. All I've really done is mark the center of the wheel well, mark the center of the wheel, and obviously the cab needs to come forward about another 5 inches. Got plenty of firewall clearance on everything, but the transmission is hitting kind of right on the transition where the firewall meets the floor pan. So I've made a couple marks. We're going to start with the small section, cut that out, see if it's enough. If not, we'll go to the next marks. I kind of marked everything out. Hopefully it's pretty easy to weld everything back in. Nice smooth areas. And believe me, it hurts me to cut into this rust-free floor pan. Rust-free stuff around here is super hard to come by, but it's got to be done. Okay, so not too bad. Had to take a little more out than I initially thought, but I think that'll give us plenty of room for this thing to slide up 5-6 inches. And the next thing that's going to be an issue is what's left of these factory inner fender wells. I'm going to trim them back even with the firewall. It should give us hopefully enough room to slide forward enough. If not, we'll have to tub the firewall for the wheels a little bit. And underneath you can see where that frame kicks up. It's just about getting ready to hit that firewall. So we'll have to measure that out. And inside, on both sides for the frame rail, we'll just have to cut a little notch out so the cab can slide forward enough. But overall, shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so here's what I came up with. Obviously, could have went a little smaller on the holes for the frame rails, but it got me out of some of these bumps and grooves and into a nice flat area. Just make it easier to patch up when the time comes. And like I said, trimmed everything back on the firewall. Hopefully that's enough, but we're about to find out. We're gonna give it a shot and get this cab slid forward. Okay, so as you may have suspected from all the cutting and grinding, I did have to tub the firewall a little bit for the wheels, but nothing too crazy. Shouldn't interfere with pedals or brake boost or anything. But there it is. I'd say that's a pretty good day, so we'll see you guys next time.